Alright guys, welcome back to the third video here. I just want to show you guys how to add some color into the background of your low poly art. So I have this layer here and I went ahead and locked that. I don't need my image anymore, so that's hidden. I've got my copy up here. Again, don't really need that at this point, but it's there just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more layer here, and I'm going to move that underneath my low poly art. And remember, you can't just use the paint bucket in Illustrator. So you need to actually put a block of color back there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my rectangular shape tool right there and put a color in. And that looks pretty good. And you could eyedropper and make that any color from your project and experiment with what that looks like. And do some sort of simple low poly thing in the background. But what I want to do is take a moment and show you guys how to mess around with gradients here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this box, and when I look at properties and look at the fill, you can see there aren't many gradients preloaded in, so I'm going to pick one of the few that's in here. So I'm just going to do this orange and yellow one, and that's going to load up right there. And then you basically have a couple different options. You've got your linear, you've got your radial, and then you've got this other one, the freeform gradient, which is kind of cool. You can mess around with those. I'm going to just start with the linear here, and I'm going to go ahead and edit this gradient. As soon as you click on one of these, or you can hit the edit button, which is down below here. So I've got my colors that I can obviously move around. Looks similar to Photoshop, or if I don't want that color, I can drag it off, manipulate those around a little bit. And then you can also, it's a little weird, you can take this black square if you want to shrink up that gradient a little bit, you can. And if you go right past it, you get this kind of rotation, and I can rotate that around. And I can move the anchor point here at the top. So again, you can get like a diagonal thing going, or if I want to go to completely vertical, you can. And again, you can do the same thing with the radial gradient. It gives you kind of like a ring around it. So you can adjust that. You can go up to the top one and make it a little bit more elliptical, or go this way. So it's kind of interesting. All right, let's go back and change a couple colors here. So I'm just going to leave it at this one. I'm going to rotate it around to 90 degrees and bring that up a little bit. I'm going to drag that up here. And let's make it the colors in our project. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to double click. I'm going to hit my eyedropper. And then I'm going to go pick a color from my project. So I'm going to click on this one. There we go. I'm going to go to this one. And I'm going to go find my next color in my project. Let's do that. And I'm just going to kind of work my way through here, double clicking and selecting some of the colors from the actual project. And it gets me a little bit closer to what I want there. I think I want this a little bit lighter. Let's go to that one and see what it looks like. And let's go back and change. I'm going to move this one up here, and I'm going to change this one to that. There we go. Okay, so I would maybe explore that a little bit more, but quick little tutorial on using those gradients. They're a little bit weird. It's a little bit different than using them in Photoshop, so I just wanted to show you guys that. You got to put that color block fill in the background first. Once you have that, you've got to pick one of the default basic gradients here, and then once you have that, you can hit your edit gradient button and go ahead in there and start to manipulate and work with your gradient. So have some fun exploring some of the gradient options that you can do in the background. All right.